Good morning, good afternoon and good evening. Wherever you are and whatever you're doing, I hope you're having a fantastic day. In today's installment of the things you may have missed in Elden Ring, we're continuing our exploration of the ALTUS Plateau. Before we get into it, quite a few people have been asking me to show the build I've been using throughout this playthrough. So I thought I'd show you my stats here. Just keep in mind that they may look a bit inflated because I'm using both Marika's and Radagon's Scar Seal. And also, I've currently got Godric's Great Rune equipped and active, so I've got +8 to all my stats. As you can see, I haven't really specialised in any one stat, and that's because I want to have a very versatile build, so that I can keep switching out my weapons and talismans every few videos. Partially, this is so that I can show you as much of what this game has to offer as possible, but also to show you that there are many viable builds and weapons, and you don't need to pigeonhole yourself into just using one weapon or one build for your entire playthrough. With that being said, I'm currently using the Moon Veil, but as of next video, I'd actually really love to pump a few more points into strength and go for a dual wield greatsword build, because I've yet to do a strength build in Elden Ring, and they look so much fun. So as of next video, you may see me wielding two massive swords instead of the Moon Veil. As for my armor set, I just use whatever I feel looks the most awesome on the day. Armor definitely plays a bigger role in this game than it has in previous From Software games, especially for certain areas and enemies where you need things such as Scarlet Rot resistance or bleed resistance, etc. But with them exceptions aside, I'd say just wear whatever you think looks the best, because you'll enjoy the game even more that way. Now that we've covered my build, we'll move into the first tip. To start off, head north from the Road of Iniquity grey site, and then you want to start heading west towards this windmill. On your way there, follow where I've come, and on top of this hill, you'll find a Battlemage. He's just a big, tough version of the other mages we've dealt with up until this point, and when you take him out, you'll get the Battlemage Armor Set, and the Heimer Glintstone Crown, which is my favourite of all of the Glintstone Crowns, as it gives you +2 strength and +2 intelligence, but just a small hit to your FP. So we'll stick that on, and I'll probably wear that for the rest of this video. Now head west further towards the windmill, kill or run past all the rats as you go, and then inside this little shack here, you'll come across the giant rat ashes. That's the only item of note around here, so now you can start heading northeast towards this next windmill. And once you're here at the East Windmill pasture, there'll be a bunch of them crazed fanatical cultist ladies, and what appeared to be a bonfire was actually a pile of flaming skeletons. So be careful taking them out, and just where they were, you'll also be able to grab yourself the Nobles set, along with a navy hood. Finish looting everything else in this area, and you can also grab the Twinned Knight swords, and we're done here, so we'll move over to the main windmill town in the east. Keep following the road to the east and you'll come to the Windmill village pasture. Take out all the villagers here, along with all the dogs and the misbegottens, and once you've taken care of all of them, you can grab their loot, and then in this shack you'll get yourself 10 raw meat dumplings. That's all there is in this little part of the village. So now you want to head further east still, and you'll come to the main Windmill village. You can grab the Site of Grace just here, right at the entrance, and now we can go through the village at our leisure, dealing with all the revelers and looting everything as we go. As you're making your way up the village, head past a few of the buildings on your left and circle round up this hill here. Now you can get on top of this house and then drop down onto the next roof just slightly below, and on the edge of this roof you'll get yourself some exalted flesh. There is another item around here somewhere, which is what I actually came here to show you, but I forgot exactly where it was. And then I ended up falling off the cliff and fell and died right next to the item that I was trying to find. So my death actually served a purpose, which is great. So now you can join me on my run back to this item, and you want to actually come to the earlier windmill that we visited, where we got the raw meat dumplings. And now you can hug the edge of this cliff here, and then when you get to the end, just past these birds, you can grab the Celebrant's skull weapon. Now head back into the village and keep working your way up. As you get right near the top, you'll come to this group of revelers here where you can loot a gold firefly. There's another item just on the edge of the cliff here that we can't currently get, and it will be one of the ghost artists sat in his chair, and he will appear once you've got the flightless bird painting. That painting is in Lanedale, the royal capital, and even though we haven't gotten there in this playthrough yet, I have actually already done a video on the Royal Capital, so make sure you go check that out and you'll know where to grab this painting. Once you've got it, you can then come back here and get the loot from the artist, and he'll reward you with the Fire's Deadly Sin incantation. Now, the last thing you want to do in this village is carry on up the hill to the north, and you'll encounter the Godskin Apostle boss. I thought I remembered him absolutely whooping my arse on my first playthrough, and he may well have done, honestly. Either I've got a bit better at this game, or I'm just over-leveled, probably the second one. And once you've taken him out, you'll be rewarded with his weapon, which is the Godskin Peeler, and the Scouring Black Flame. That's all there is to do in this village, so grab the Windmill Heights Site of Grace just behind where the boss was, and then we'll progress further south for the next tip. Head to the Site of Grace, back down at the entrance to the village again, and then just sprint to the east. You can completely ignore these trebuchets that are going to start firing at you, but they were really pissing me off. So I opted to sprint towards them and take out all of the soldiers operating them. Once you've cleared out all the guards in these ramparts here, or just ran past them, then you can head north up the mountain, and in this camp, once you've cleared out all the guards again, will be the Ash of War Lightning Slash. Grab the loot from all the enemies you've just murderized, and you'll see a tower off to your west. There's a mounted royal knight and a few crossbow-wielding soldiers around as well, so be careful in this area as you're clearing everyone out. Or, again, as always, you can just use the run past everyone option if you want. Either way, once you've made it past them, come to the broken wall here and you'll be on the highway lookout tower. Jump off round the side and then you'll be inside the tower, and you can start scaling up the ladders. On a wooden beam on this floor here, you can grab yourself 10 hefty beast bones, and then once you've defeated the rest of the guards, all the way at the top here, you'll get yourself a GREATBRO. A GREATBRO? You'll get yourself a great bow and 20 great arrows. That's everything we needed from this area, so I'll mark these ruins on the map and we'll start heading southwest towards the next tip. As you're getting close to these ruins, they look fairly inconspicuous. No enemies or items to loot. Very boring. However, as you get closer, you'll see a wandering noble cowering in the corner. Unfortunately, my camera was facing the wrong way, so I missed this, but once you've taken him out, turns out it was a mimic, and he will actually turn into one of them giant lions. Good luck, they're always bastards, especially in an area like this, where there's not really any good ways to cheese it. Once you've taken it out, you'll be able to loot another Larval Tear. Then you can come a little bit further up and take out these enemies by this toppled over caravan. And now you can loot 3 lightning greatbolts. Next we'll head a bit further south and grab a Site of Grace to set us up for the next few tips. I got really disoriented here because we haven't fully discovered this portion of the map yet, so it takes me a minute to find it, but eventually you can see it off in the distance here. So we'll go and activate this Site of Grace, and I'll meet up with you after resting for the next tip. From this Site of Grace, we're going to swing around the mountain here and end up pretty much directly south of where we currently are on top of the mountain. And when you get here, massive dragon time! Fuck knows how to pronounce the name, but Ancient Dragon Lanciax? God knows. She is an awesome boss fight. I had so much fun with this one. I summoned the Mad Pumpkin Head to help me, and at about 25% of the way through the fight, I ended up accidentally leaving the boss's arena, and he despawned. So it became a one-on-one again anyway. But this is the first fight I've had for a while where I felt like I was at the correct level and like it was a challenge without being bullshit. So I had a lot of fun taking this dragon out. And when you do finally take her down, you'll be rewarded with Lansax's Glaive, which is not a spell I can use at the moment, unfortunately, so I can't show it off to you because it requires 40 faith to use, but it sounds incredible. This attack unleashes trails of lightning, and it's in the paragraph below this description that gave me the insight that this is a female dragon. And since people called out to me way back, I think it was in the Weeping Peninsula video, that Lutel is also female, I've now been more conscious and reading the descriptions rather than just assuming every single character in this whole game is a dude. So now that we've slayed the dragon, we'll teleport back to the previous Site of Grace and we'll move on to the next tip. Right after beating the dragon, I just accidentally grabbed an item off camera, so let me just jump back onto this little structure here and I'll show you on the map where I am. And on the corpse on the edge here, you can get yourself a Stonesword Key. Now we'll go all the way down to the southwest to this structure right in the bottom corner of the plateau here. On your way, as you're running through these piles of swords, you'll see a scarab, and once you get him dead, you'll get the lightning ram Ash of War, which essentially turns you into Sonic. Gotta go fast. I love it. So all the sheep in this area, if you may have noticed that all the sheep in this area, when they roll around, loads of lightning sparks come off of them. You can literally do that now. It is so much fun. I think someone has actually done a lightning roll only playthrough. And also while you're here, you can grab all the golden runes from these tombs here. Then you can come to the ruins of this church that we were heading towards. Take out the Royal Knight on horseback just out the front. And as you come into the Stormcaller Church, you can grab yourself 10 lightning greatbolts, a sacred tear, and just in the corner behind where we came through the entrance, after you take out the soldiers, you can also get yourself the Dragonbolt blessing. There's one more thing to do in this video, and to get there we're going to head north, and we're also going to encounter another boss. As you're coming up to the entrance to this cave, which will be the last tip for this video, outside you'll be faced with the Black Knife Assassin. The first time I fought this guy seemed to be going really well. He's got like 0 health left, and I'm on half health. I've just done a visceral attack on him. I'm just about to deliver the death blow, and then out of nowhere, he just comes up with an instant grab, and he's just like, yeah, no, you're dead now. Okay, great. What the fuck? So, anyway, let's come back and absolutely wreck his face the second time we face him. Now that he's dead, you can head in the building, go down the lift, and I will meet you inside now that we're at the Sainted Hero's grave, and we will go through this dungeon together. Alright, before we even start this section of the video, I just want to address these bloody hidden path ahead messages. They are my biggest pet peeve. Why do people have to be such trolls, man? Like, you know inside of you that 100% this is not a hidden path, but you always have to hit the wall just in case. Fuck you. Right, now that the hidden path rant is out the way, you can pop a Stonesword Key in the gargoyle statue here, come into the room, deal with the enemy, and you can loot a Crimson Seed talisman off of this corpse. And now we'll continue into the actual dungeon itself. Okie dokie, so almost straight away you'll come to an illusionary wall just here, but from what I could see, having explored it myself, it doesn't lead anywhere. I'm not gonna lie, this is one of the caves I am less familiar with, so please let me know if I did miss anything up on that ledge that the illusionary wall led me to. But regardless of that, we'll skip that and hop back down. And the gimmick for this cave will also come back in a couple of other caves in the future. And it's around these pools of light on the floor. There are certain enemies that start off just looking like shadows, and you have to guide them into the pools of light, and that will then make them vulnerable to attacks. In their shadow form, they are completely invincible. So once you've dealt with these first few imps, I'll just call out anything of note that I come across in this dungeon, because it's a very long one with not much stuff in it. You can grab lots of ghost glovewort, and there's the odd item here and there. So as we come into this room, you'll see the whole center of the floor here looks fairly precarious, and there is some signs warning you about it as well. For a change, they're not trolling you. Stand in the middle of the room here and you'll fall through the floor. So run around the edge and grab the Lanedale soldier ashes first, and now we do actually want to deliberately fall through the floor. You'll drop down into one of the pools of light, and there'll be loads of gargoyles around you. Let them all come to you, and as they become vulnerable, take them all out. Then once they're dead, there's a lever just on the right hand side of this door that you can open. And now we'll come through into a room with loads of putrid corpses and guillotines, and watch me die to one, like an idiot. So now we will speed run back to where we just were, and at the end of these two hallways of guillotines, you'll see the door to the boss room. Now, to open it up, climb up this ladder that we passed on our right hand side, and hop down the other side of this wall. A revenant will spawn to your left, be very careful. Honestly, I think Revenants might be my most hated enemy in the game. Right, now that the Revenant's dead, carry on along this walkway, and you'll see a shadow Grave Warden. You now need to lead him back to a pool of light. So I get him to drop down and follow me along the guillotines, and bring him into the hidden room that we opened up earlier. Once you've taken him out, he is the trigger, he's the lever for this dungeon, so he will now grant you access to the boss room at the end of the dungeon. Now, I feel like there is at least one item I missed here. I've tried to be so thorough and so perfect in this playthrough, and I can pretty much guarantee you I will not miss another item from here on forward. But this dungeon really stumped me, so I feel like there's another talisman in here somewhere that I missed. This bit of the video is mega. It's like a 17-minute clip, this one, but honestly you can skip almost all of it because it's me just trying to figure out where the fuck I'm going. Please someone let me know if I've missed a side passage or an illusionary wall or something. If anyone can help out in the comments, I'll pin it so that no one else has to miss it. Or maybe I did get everything. If so, yay! So now we're at the boss room and we're going to fight an ancient hero of Zamor, who is an absolute wet wipe. Kill him dead and you'll get the ancient dragon knight Christoph Ashes of War. This guy sounds awesome. So whilst we're doing the outro, I'm going to head back to Round Table Hold, level him up, and then go somewhere and summon him so that we can just watch him murderize some enemies. And with that, I'd just like to say thank you as always so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Have an absolutely fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.